Okay, now come, let's do question 12C together. Now, as you can see over here, it says, right, to expand. What is the meaning of expand? Expand means I exclude the brackets. Am I making sense here? Expand means I exclude the brackets, means I do not want the brackets to be in my answer. Okay, factorization means I favor the brackets. That means I want, because I favor means I like means I want. Make sense? Okay, now, in this question, right, they tell you, hey, you know what? 5e minus 3h, 2h plus e. Okay, let me continue writing out the question. All right, 2h minus 4e. Okay, I just wanted to not confuse anyone. Over here, I wrote my plus and it looks horrible. Okay, can see? All right, so now, in order for me to expand, all I need to do is to use the rainbow method, isn't it? Right, 5e times 2h. Okay, I apologize. Let me just draw the arrow properly. Okay, so go one by one first. 5e times 2h, that gives me how much? 10eh. True? One by one, don't do everything together. 5e times e, that gives me positive 5e squared. Okay, now, then of course, I will use another color. Okay, negative 3h times 2h, that gives me negative 6h squared. Negative 3h times e, that gives me negative 3eh. Okay, so that's the first part. Make sense? All right. At this level, let's say if you are learning, this and you are new to this, you are new to expansion, I would encourage you to use a different color. Right, use 3 different colors, right? Green, red, and blue. Understand what I'm saying? Blue is for you to write out the equations. Red and green is for you to draw the arrows so that you are able to visualize, you're able to see, and then you don't get confused. Can? Okay, so draw your arrows properly as well. Can? Now, we go on to the next one. Now, this is the tricky part. This is where a lot of students, they will get it wrong. Why? Because they fail to realize that there is a negative 1 over here. I say that again. They fail to realize that there is a negative 1 over here. This negative 1 is invisible. Now, don't worry about this. I want you to solve whatever you can for this part first. Can you all see that? All right, so you solve whatever that is over here first. So first thing first, 3e, so you just put the negative, just copy the negative, and then you still have to put a bracket. You understand so far? All right, because why? Because later words, this negative, right, will be affecting all of this over here. Am I making sense here? I say that again. This negative over here will affect everything that you are going to write here. Okay, why? Because there is an invisible negative 1 over here. There is an invisible negative 1 over here. Okay, so sit tight. Listen to me. 3e times 2h, that gives me 6eh. 3e times negative 4e, that gives me negative 12e squared. So now we are going to go for the bottom rainbow. Negative h times 2h, that gives me negative 2h squared. Negative h times negative 4e, that gives me positive 4eh. Okay, now the trick is this part. All right, if you cannot understand this, or if you are not able to multiply negative to this over here, then you are going to face a huge problem. Okay, whatever I have before, I'm just going to copy it down first. Then eh plus 5e squared minus 6h squared minus 3eh. Okay, here comes the trick. Here comes the trick. I'm going to use blue color, so fix your eyes on that color. Okay, you see, watch this. Watch. Now, it is negative 1 times 6eh. There is no change to the digit, but there is a change to the signs. I say that again, there is a change to the signs. Understand so far? Why? Because when I do negative 1 times 6eh, isn't that equals to negative 6eh? Correct? Because negative times positive, that becomes negative. Agree or disagree? Then after that, we have negative 1. You can see negative 1 over here, right? Times. So same thing, right? I draw my rainbow. You see, where did my rainbow land? My rainbow land on the negative side. I want to remind myself again and again and again and again that it is negative 12e squared that I am multiplying. So when negative and negative, isn't that becomes positive 12e squared? Okay, so once this is done, I'm going to do to the next part. So I'm just going to draw all the way until here. When I do negative 1 times 2h squared, I will get to positive 2h squared. And finally, I draw my last arrow, okay? Negative 1 times 4eh, I will get to negative 4eh. So this will change your answer dramatically. Okay, I say that again, this will change your answer dramatically, okay? Now, same after this, what you want to use or what you want to do is what we call same family, sit together, right? So let's start with 10EH first. Gather all of the 10EH. Do I have more 10EH? I have one over here, right? So I bring 3EH, negative 3EH together. I have negative 6EH. Okay, gather them together. Gather. Same family, sit together. Once you are done gathering all of the EH, you look at your next one, which is 5E squared. So I put 5E squared over here. I gather all of my 5E squared. Okay, done. I look at negative 6H squared. I gather all of my H squared. And that's it. Okay, so now that I'm done rearranging, I can start calculating. Okay, so you can see over here, if it's 10 minus 3, that gives me 7, right? 7 minus 6, that gives me 1. 1 minus 4, that gives me negative 3EH. Okay, so that's for EH. Okay, the family of EH. 5 and 12, that gives me 17E squared. Minus 6 plus 2. What is the meaning of minus 6 plus 2? It means I am going or I am moving forward. So therefore, it's negative 4H squared. And therefore, your answer for this question has to be negative 3EH plus 17E squared minus 4H squared.